Why did Rand Paul once tie a woman up, tell her to bow down before a false idol, and say his god was Aqua Buddha?
Well, the latest political attack ad in Kentucky's Senate race leading to some angry reaction at last night's debate. Today, GOP Senate candidate Rand Paul says he may not participate in any more debates, accusing his opponent, Democrat Jack Conway, of gutter politics. Here's a sample of their exchange last night.
Why did he freely join a group known for mocking or making fun of people of faith? And secondly, when is it ever a good idea to tie up a woman and ask her to kneel before a false idol, your god that you call Aqua Buddha?
You know, Jack, you know how do we tell when you're lying? It's when your lips are moving, okay? You're accusing me of crimes. Do you know nothing about the... You're going to stand over there and accuse me of a crime for 30 years ago from some anonymous source? How ridiculous are you?
And then Rand Paul walked off the stage without shaking Jack Conway's hand, which is very unusual in connection with these debates, and he's coming under fire for that today. Brad Blakeman is the former deputy assistant to President George W. Bush, and Nancy Skinner is a syndicated radio talk show host. Wow, did it get heated last night? Wow. I mean, you've been around the block politically, both of you. Brad, when you see Rand Paul walk off the stage after having his religion questioned, after having the God to which he worships questioned, basically being accused of a crime, as you heard him say there, your thoughts are what?
Well, I think he was channeling a little bit of Governor Christie. I think that's exactly what the public likes to see. They don't like to see a politician stand there and take abusive charges that are unsubstantiated. So I think more power to Paul for not only standing up to the guy, but also walking off the stage. Having said that, I would like to see them debate again. I think the public can't wait to see round two. And if it goes as well in round two as it did in round one, I think Paul will be a winner.
Nancy, do you think that that ad and that line of attack are appropriate? Because we've already seen Senator Claire McCaskill, who's a more moderate Democrat in the Senate, come out and say she thinks this is a very dangerous thing to do and that it comes close to the line of appropriateness.
Yeah, you know, I agree with that. Religion in general should, you know, not be brought into political campaigns. We saw that with President Obama. Just because his pastor said some things that were very strange, that was somehow laid upon his altar. So I generally agree, but was this about religion or was this about behavior that one would consider antisocial? If you're tying someone up, that's not religion to me. So is there some sort of antisocial behavior that perhaps should be looked at? But in general, I'd care what Rand Paul says about Social Security and somehow privatizing it. And
well, you may, but Jack Conway doesn't feel the same. Jack Conway doesn't feel the same because he's talking about the articles I've read about this talk about how what he's essentially accusing Rand Paul of, Brad, is it's being described as a college prank that he allegedly pulled with a buddy involving a friend of theirs, a female friend of theirs, about some Aqua Buddha. I mean, it was a joke, according to the articles I've read, but even that is being denied by Rand Paul. My question to you is Jack Conway taking a real risk here in even raising this as a real issue when even according to the objective articles, at best, this was a college prank?
Look, desperate people do desperate things. This guy's down in the polls. And if I were advising Mr. Conway, I'd tell him to get off this and talk about exactly what Nancy was talking about the issues that matter most to people, especially in this bad economy. So I think it's a desperate strategy. It's a losing strategy. Rand Paul should debate him tomorrow. He should get back on that stage and let this guy have it like he did the first time.
Do you think, Brad, that he was being too thin-skinned? Because McCaskill also said that. She said Rand Paul was too thin-skinned about it. He should have shaken the hands. We all take blows during the debates, and no matter how ugly it gets, you go over there and shake the hand.
Absolutely not. I think the American people like this kind of politician, a stand-up guy, no-nonsense guy. Look, they said the same thing about Governor Christie at his town hall meetings, and he got rave reviews all over the country. They want to know more about Governor Christie, and they want to know more about Rand if he takes that stage again.
Nancy, the president himself came out during the campaign and said, this was from June 3rd, 2008, and I'm quoting here. This is from his website, which was fightthesmears.com. What you won't hear from this party is the kind of politics that uses religion as a wedge, that sees our opponents not as competitors to challenge, but enemies to demonize. Did Jack Conway or did Jack Conway not go directly against that promise issued by...
Well, you know, the question is, was he attacking Rand Paul's religion or some sort of antisocial behavior. If it's religion, absolutely. Whether someone's a Mormon, a Muslim, Christian, it should be completely off the table, and that's what the president was saying. But I do think, Megyn, to not shake someone's hand really says a lot about their character. How tough are you going to be? You know, we all have to get along. We have a lot of major problems to fix in this economy. And if you are so thin-skinned that, and that's what politics is about, okay? Attack ads. That's why they raise so much money, so they can attack each other. And if you're that thin-skinned that you can't even shake someone's hand
Nancy,
after
you're wrong.
a debate, then you're not going to be an effective
wrong.
lawmaker.
Go ahead, Brad.
Wrong. Look, you Democrats this cycle are attacking Republicans to prove that they didn't do things. You have a long history now in this political cycle of making allegations that cannot be substantiated. This has nothing to do with thin skin and everything to do with principled leadership. Republicans are not going to stand there and take it from Democrats. They're going to take it to Democrats.
But I want to follow up with Nancy. I want to follow up with Nancy on the point that she made before, which is, was this an attack on religion or, you know, sort of character? In the ad, which we ran a clip of before the segment, the announcer asks, why was Rand Paul a member of a secret society that called the Holy Bible a hoax that was banned for mocking Christianity and Christ? Now, there's no question, as far as I know, that Rand Paul is an observant Presbyterian and has been practicing that religion, I guess, for all of his life. So do you not see that as an attack on his religious beliefs?
Well, what they're saying is he's not a Christian, or he was belonging to some weird society.
Right, so if they're saying
frankly,
he's not a Presbyterian, how does that not go against President Obama's promise that this party will not use religion as a wedge?
Because they weren't saying, well, you know, he's in this, you know, cult is actually what it was. And the fact that you used something like that from someone's college days, I don't agree with that. I'm not agreeing that he should have even used that.
Do you think Jack Conway should apologize? Because Rand Paul is calling for him to apologize.
You know, yeah, absolutely. Apologize if it stepped on his toes. Get back to the table, talk about the real issues, because there's going to be a big difference. Is Rand Paul going to repeal the health care program and throw the 25-year-old kid who's on his parents' insurance off? Are pre-existing conditions now?
I mean, now you're talking about the issues, which everybody agrees is fair game. That's fair game. Brad, I got to go, so I'll give you a quick last word.
Look, it's all about the issues, Megyn, and the Democrats are throwing all these sub-issues in there that don't matter to the electorate. It doesn't affect their lives.
Okay, got to leave it at that. Good debate, Brad and Nancy. Always appreciate you coming on.